Welcome to the newspaper review for today, the 23rd day of September 2025. And I am Amaze Prosper. I have in the studio today with me Chidima. Chidima, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you. And how are you?
Hope you had a good night rest.
Yes, I did.
All right. Chidima, we have a lot of newspapers we did be reviewing today. And the first on our list is The Guardian. Fubra declares peace talk with Wike after meeting Tinubu. That to be seen in page 3. Nigeria's economy posts 4.23% growth in second quarter, outperforms projection. That to be seen in page 3. Nigeria's democracy faces collapse without INEC reforms. Bugaje warns. That to be seen in page 3. 24 states backpedals on electricity decentralization tariff debt risk. That to be seen in page 6. Enroll children in schools or face jail terms. Gombe State Governor tells parents. That to be seen in page 29. Gunman kills Benue APC chieftain. Adopt district head in platoon. That to be seen in page 30. Constitutional altercation. Tinubu, Akpabio, Abbas declares support for women's reserved seat bills. That to be seen in page 6. Rivers, stakeholders call for probe of Iba's 6 months administration. That to be seen in page 29. Natasha's trial stalls as women group petitions United Nations. That to be seen in page 30. Tension in Edo LGs as acting chairman receive impeachment notice. That to be seen in page 29. All right, Chidima, about the 24 states backpedaling on this electricity tariff issue and the debt risk, what do you think about this?
When you talk about the decentralization, is it how it affects the end users, which is me and you, or the investors that are coming into those 24 states? I mean, because it doesn't affect the government at any point. It doesn't affect them at any rate. Because if you're talking about decentralization, it's like them wanting to go back to us using the meter, where they were giving us estimated bills. Okay, yes, we complain about estimated bills. They said, okay, they let them bring in a new form of, payment, and they gave us prepaid. Now we are using the prepaid. Nobody is talking anything, and then suddenly they want to give us high. They want us to pay high for a very low vote. You're paying a tariff of 1,000 naira, and they're giving you 4 units. 4 units that you cannot even use to press your clothes, and it's gone. How do they even want investors to come into the states? You go to a state like Imo State, and they're telling you there is federal light and there is state lights. For a state that don't even have lights. And then when you ask them, they tell you federal light has constant lights than state lights.
What a laughable thing.
Then you come down to other places that have prepaid, for example. And they're telling you there is band A, band B, band C. The band A now, for example, they have constant lights. Band B has lights in the morning and has lights in the evening. Within the 12 to 6 or 7 o'clock, there is no lights. Now this thing chases people away. It chases investors away, because I mean, if I want to invest, let's say I want to build a bread factory, for example, and I come into a place that there is no lights, I will leave. Now sometimes when investors come into these places, they help to fix some minor things. For example, if the road to my factory is bad, I will fix it.
Exactly.
That is my help to the community. Now I'm not talking about the fact that some local governments also enjoy light without paying. If the government decide that, okay, for 1 year Nigerians will not pay for lights, it's possible. So our politicians, they travel abroad, and just the same way they go for vacations and they go to enjoy themselves, I mean, they should learn 1 or 2 and bring back to Nigeria and do it. You can go there. Foreign countries, they use solar.
Exactly.
They use the wind energy. You can use it here. It's not a hard thing to do. If they decide to budget money for it, if they decide to budget money for it and make it happen, it will happen. It's not hard. Like, for example, now our streets have solar street lights. If the government can bring, so that means the government is aware that there is something like solar energy. If there is no lights, and electricity is one of the major things that is needed in a country, just as for development. You understand? Now, if there is no electricity, the natural resources are of no use, because I don't know why I will be using my generator to be running my factory, and then when I want to sell bread, maybe I want to sell the bread now that they're selling 350 for 1,000 naira, the consumers will be complaining, but I'm at loss if I decide to sell it at that 250. It is like, it's just as if the government is trying to make everything look hard for us here in Nigeria. Because instead of going backwards, you can actually go forward. Nigeria as a whole should learn that it's high time we start going forward instead of backwards. Okay, because of the fact that the cash flow for them is beginning to look very little, they want to go back to meter, when they can actually sit and think of other forms of electricity, which is not good.
Actually, Chidinma, one thing you even be talking about in this country is that when people talk about federal light and state light, you tend to ask yourself, the federal light, is it that it is meant for the presidency? Or because in Aso Rock, the president uses solar.
Exactly.
He uses solar. So when you talk about this federal light, you just say those things are laughable in this country. There are certain things that are not even supposed to be discussed in this country about federal light, band A, band B, and most time, like you said, when factories come into a particular place, when you are buying light for this particular thing, and you look at it that your machines in your factories and the type of light and the amount of light, the energy they take up, that's what makes most of these investors leave this country, in the sense of light. Well, we just pray that the government, in as much as we know that it doesn't affect them in any way, that they're able to look into this thing and help us, the end users, we the lower individuals, and help us look into this electricity tariff of a thing. Thank you, Chidinma. Over to the next newspaper, The Vanguard. NUPRC records 459.6 billion naira revenue, shortfalls despite 3% rise in monthly remittance. That will be seen in page 19. State of the nation, why we cannot return to regionalism. That was said by Tanko Yakasa. That will be seen in page 14. Procurement, FG rejects US report alleging lack of transparency. Says AUGF tells to provide substantive report on budget execution. Report not true, FG says. That will be seen in page 5. So Chidinma, about the US saying that the procurement report of the federal government lacks transparency, what's your take on that?
Honestly, there's a saying in accounting that says that there is accountability, transparency, and accuracy. Okay. Now, in 2007, the Nigerian government gave out a legal law that they will be announcing, or rather making it public, the statements of account of the states, of the country as a whole, so that the NGOs, the foreigners, yes, even the civilians can have access to it. And now for the United States to come out and say, okay, the documents you've been giving us is not accurate. It's not showing transparency. And I further heard that the government has already backlashed it by saying that is not true. Yeah. Now, the United States simply said that, okay, if let's say what you're saying is the truth, can we now have a pure, detailed information of the people that you issued these monies to for the contract, that you awarded the contract, the amounts given, and what they spent it, which is a very easy thing to do if the Auditor General is not being interfered by the government. Okay. Now the federal government is saying we've been giving you the accurate information, that the only thing now is that we've upgraded to an online binding. We've added some other things to it. If it was so, why didn't you state that to the United States earlier? Why did you have to wait when they asked for you to tell us? I mean, if the United States didn't make this known, you understand? Yes. We, the civilians, we, the citizens that want to just get the information, we not know.
Exactly.
If the federal government have agreed that since in 2007 that okay, we are going to be making our statements of account known, I believe that it is high time that if they tell the United States, if they tell the public that on the so date, these documents will be released, let it be released on that day. And now when these documents are being audited, that it is not interfered by the states. Okay. It is not interfered by the government. Let the auditor be transparent with it. Okay. This is the amount that came, this is the amount that was allocated, this is the resource we got through that amount that was allocated rather, and this is what we've gained from it. It helps us it always helps us in the future, because if you are not transparent, if the federal government is not transparent, I mean, transparency helps with business. You understand? If they're not transparent, if you're not transparent with me, I know you're not transparent with me. If you decide that you want to borrow loan from me or you want to do business with me, I won't want to go with you.
Exactly.
So if they're telling the United States that the reason is that okay, they are using the old templates, that this is a new template, make sure you inform them on time. Make sure that your A is your A. Honesty and trustworthiness takes things far in a good hands. I believe that is the only option and remedy to it.
Okay, that's about that. You know one thing about this country is that, like, let's say, lack of transparency has always been the issue in this country.
Exactly.
We are in this country, we are told that such amount is being put into the construction of this road. Then you get to find out that even the road that was even constructed, when you look at it, you see that even such amount was not even put in such
inferiority.
And that's that. And they have taken this now, as even the US now, they have taken, like, such issues like this now, as it is when we want to take loans. These are statements which all this like when you want to take loan from World Bank, these are things the World Bank looks into. Exactly. Because when they look into such a thing, they have to see what we have used the previous money, what you have used it to do. And when such reports lacks transparency, do you think that do you think that World Bank will even look at our side, or any other country will even want to lend us money in this country? The federal government and the Accountant General and even the Auditor General of the Federation should be able to be transparent in their financial reports, so that the US and the auditors will be able to give a definite audit on these reports. Thank you about that, Chidema. Over to the next newspaper we have here, and that's the This Day newspaper. MBS 95.95% non-oil sector contribution sports GDP growth to 4.23% in second quarter. Oil accounted for 4.05% as daily production rose to 1.63 mbpd. NUPLC remits 745 billion naira to Federation account in August. Cumulative transfers hit 5.47 trillion naira. That will be seen in page 13. Fubara, I have made peace with Wike. That will be seen in page 12. Presidency. Tinubu is a committed Democrat, has no plan to stay in power beyond 2031. Usman Bugaje, ex-president Obasanjo, did everything to remain in power. This will be seen in page 13. So, Chidema, about this Fubara's issue, Fubara, as he has returned and he has been reinstated as the governor of Rivers State, and him visiting Tinubu in Aso Rock and making the statement that he has made peace with Wike. What's your take on this, and how do you think this will be affecting the people of Rivers State?
Okay. It is very funny that the governor of Rivers State, that is Fubara, went all the way to the presidential villa to tell the president thank you. That means they're telling him, sir, thank you for suspending me and thank you for bringing me back. Sir, thank you for agreeing with Wike that I need to go for 6 months, and thank you for, after I've finished agreeing to the terms and conditions, for bringing me back.
Imagine that.
Sir, thank you. An elected governor. And then telling the president that, okay, me and Wike, we're no longer fighting. That means I've agreed to the terms and conditions applied. That means I'm now answering yes, sir, to Wike. Because, I mean, the reason why the both of them had this conflict before was because he did not want to answer yes, sir, to him.
Exactly.
And now he's answering yes, sir. Imagine the newly elected local government chairman could not even come out to tell him, welcome, sir. None of them have told him, congratulations, sir. And he's going to be working with them. Still answering yes, sir, to Wike. I just wonder what will be the fate of Rivers State now. Because everything that will be happening will be from above. I'm not sure he will have a decision of his own. If before you left, or rather, if before the suspension, your problem was you don't want to be answering yes, sir, to him, and then suddenly you're coming back and then you're telling us that, okay, the person that I told you that I was not going to answer yes, sir, to, I'm not going to be answering him because we're not going to be fighting. I don't want conflicts. What is the fate of the people of Rivers State that have trusted you that, okay, our governor is hell-bent, he's not going to be, he's not going to succumb to anybody, that he's going to do the things he wants to do for Rivers State on his own terms. So if they tell you, okay, today Rivers State is not going to be disbursing 1 billion, meaning that we will not be disbursing the 1 billion. The states now we have a governor, but we'll be getting authority from Abuja, which is not supposed to be so. I mean, at this point now, they are going to be the ones to give him the commissioners that he's going to appoint. Like, he's just there. I feel like what he's just going to be doing is just to sit down.
If you go ahead.
Let me just say that he's answering the governor. Honestly, I think it's high time that here in Nigeria, in fact, as a governor, if you say I don't want to, stand by it. I don't know what is inside this government that is so sweet that people are ready to bend their morals for. It's Rivers State I'm still pitying, because at the end of the day, if whatever is being told to him to do doesn't favor us and favor them, that is what will happen. Well, we just look forward to the new things that will be happening in Rivers State now that he's in seat.
Another thing is that we practice a system of democracy in this country. When they say the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And look at what we are now seeing now. It's no longer the government of the people, by the people. It is not the government of the people, by one man to the people. And I'm not saying goes that when the elephants are fighting, the grass suffers. That is my fear about the people of Rivers State. Because now at this point now, when allocations comes now, some projects will no longer be carried out in Rivers State. And now we are now seeing Wike's 10%. Wike has 10%. Now any allocation that comes to Rivers State, commissioners will be appointed by him. Local government chairman will be handled by him. So what will the governor now be doing? Will the governor be sitting every day? He comes to the state house and sits down, answers the governor, answerable to one man in Abuja. Not, in fact, what am I saying? Not even one man, to many men. Like, because at this point, the state is supposed to have an atom of autonomy, because the state is supposed to be an independent arm of its own, where the governor has the say, because he took this oath on the day he was sworn in, that he was going to protect the lives and properties, and he was going to carry out his duties diligently. And at this point, do we think the governor will even be able to carry out his duties diligently? And that's that on the newspaper review for today. I would like to get your opinion in the comment section. I remain Acho Amanze Prosper, and here in the studio with me is Chidinma. Thank you, Chidinma, for being here with me today.
Pleasure is all mine.
Bye.